just got back from the best vacation in Jamestown, Virginia.
I've always wanted to go there.
Isn't that where the Pilgrims landed or something?
No. Let me tell you about Jamestown.
Given the previous failure at Roanoke, the English crown was wary about giving out grants for colonists to go to the New World. Even so, James I granted a charter on April 10, 1606 to two joint stock companies. Both companies sent people out in 1607. The Virginia Company of London chose their site for settlement on the James River in May 1607. They chose to name the settlement Jamestown. The settlers began building their town in what is now present-day Virginia. They were initially excited to be in the New World, and morale was high. The settlers were unaccustomed to hard labor, with many of them expecting riches to fall into their lap. None of the settlers who came over could fish, farm, or hunt, and they struggled to find suitable land to farm. They soon became frustrated and gave up on their farming techniques. As a result of their neglect to plant crops or ability to gather food, they had nothing to eat. The settlers began to starve, and their health deteriorated rapidly. Many of the settlers fell very ill and died. This time period is known as the Starving Time and lasted from 1609 to 1610. Only 61 of the 500 settlers were fortunate enough to survive the harsh conditions. With death all around them, they began to search for an answer to their prayers. Initially, the settlers were on good terms with the Native Americans. The Powhatans, led by Chief Powhatan, were particularly helpful in teaching them how to farm, fish, and also gave them food. But the help from the Powhatans was not enough, and the settlers continued to starve. They began to demand more food from the Native Americans, and relations deteriorated. This tension resulted in the First Anglo-Powhatan War from 1610 to 1614, which the settlers won. In 1614, John Rolfe saved Jamestown. He introduced tobacco seeds, which he had brought with him from the Caribbean. The settlers began to grow these with great success. By 1619, tobacco was a high-ticket item, and that year Virginia was able to export large amounts due to the growing market in Europe. With their newfound success in tobacco, the settlers were finally starting to prosper. The settlers were no longer starving, and in fact had food to eat. They feasted upon the finest fruits and vegetables to celebrate their good fortune. Their formerly small and poorly built settlement grew in size as more people came over, motivated by the headright system. While living in Jamestown, John Rolfe met Pocahontas, Chief Powhatan's daughter, who had been so kind and friendly before the war. They met, and it was love at first sight. Soon after, they decided to get married. John Rolfe, seeing how prosperous the colony had gotten, decided it was time to go back to England and brought his wife with him. They said their goodbyes and set sail for England.
That was such a cute love story.
John Rolfe is so dreamy.
I wish I knew a guy like him.